Jay. I'm an engineer over at Trinity as well. Sadie and I do the same thing over there, so we're both working on websites the majority of the day, and then, fostering advice and other things like that.
When did you first become interested in programming?
I first became interested in programming in school. I think it was 7th grade. I didn't get to start as young as you guys are. You're very lucky. We got to build our own website, and I thought it was so cool that I was just using words to create this website, this page. So that's when I first became interested.
Like Sadie, mine started at school. Mine was probably a little later. I was probably like junior or senior year of high school. Just because I built websites in like 7th and 8th grade too, I think, and I did not understand it at all. I was a little slow apparently. So then I went to college for computer science, and it's a blast.
How did you learn to program?
I went to college for, like Jay did, not computer science, graphic communications. They taught me a little bit of everything. So then I went out into the workforce, tried to get a job. Trinity Insight took me in as an intern, and they taught me a lot of on-the-job training. So that's where I learned a majority of what I know today actually was through Trinity Insight. So.
For me, I went to school down in Chicago. Like I said, computer science, and I had a couple jobs on the side for like certain languages of development. And then I came up here, back home, because I'm from here, got a job at Trinity, and was kind of blown away with the amount of information I didn't have at that time. Like, it takes a little bit to get up to speed, but yeah.
Do you consider your coding ability to be a superpower?
I would have to say yes. The problem-solving skills that you get when you learn how to code are above and beyond anyone else's who does it. It's a different way of thinking. It will help you not just in writing code, but any problem that you come across, you'll think about it differently because you have that problem-solving mindset.
Yeah, I agree. I think it helps a lot with like the logic puzzles of everyday life, as well as it's kind of neat just having knowledge that a lot of other people don't have. Like, it's not a lot of people understand what we do, but it's good that you guys are starting where you are now. You'll probably have the knowledge I do now at like, 6th grade.
What is the coolest thing you've been able to use your coding powers on, or add to that too, not only you, but maybe some of the cool things that you've just seen coding be able to do too?
This one was like a tough one.
Yeah,
I was looking through the slides earlier. I was like, I've built a lot of cool things, but basically everything that's out there now in terms of technology, like if you guys like to play video games or anything, that's all code related. Like, it's all logic puzzles. So if you guys want to make video games, you're gonna have to learn to do a little bit of this at the same time.
Yep, I think Jay hit the nail on the head there. There's so many cool websites. Yesterday we were looking at this animated ball that was made all with CSS. And then we were just like casting it all day. Like, the things that you can do, it's unlimited. So I don't know if I could pick just one cool thing that I've seen. So.
How has learning how to program code changed how you look at the world?
I think again, it's just knowing how things are put together. The building blocks more so is how you look at the world. It's not just like a desk. Different parts that go together to make the desk, and then again the problem solving. You get above and beyond what everyone else does. So.
Yeah. Now when I see like cool websites and stuff, I'm always like trying to reverse engineer them. So I'll like go look at the source and try to be like, oh, that's sweet. Like, we could use that. Like.
Exactly.
So it's just like, taking the elements of what other trying to, you know, use them in our own stuff. So.
What is one important thing kids should think about as they learn to program?
I would say never give up. You're going to fail. That's how you learn. You're going to have problems that take sometimes days. But don't give up. That's how you learn. Like, you'll never make that problem again. So sometimes it'll be really frustrating, especially when you're starting, but just keep pushing. Keep coming at problems with different angles, and you'll be fine.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, when I first started, it was frustrating, like not knowing any of the languages that we were using. And it's like, you just kind of have to, you know, put your pride to the side a little bit and ask for help, and then it gets a lot better, it gets a lot easier, and eventually you will understand it if you keep working at it.
Do you guys have questions? Go ahead, Jackson.
What websites have you guys made?
That's a good question. I don't know of any that a lot of people have heard of.
Yeah, we don't have like any like really popular. We're more in the mid-market, is what they're called. So like ePromos is one. If you want to look at that one day, they sell like, if you have like t-shirts like that John Deere one, they're like, hey, I want to make a t-shirt with my brand on it. So we did that one start to finish. Well, we made the design and what it would look like.
Did you make any emoji video games or something like that?
I don't know, you?
I did in college a little bit, just kind of as like a explanatory look at like how they're made. So I understand how to do it. I don't know if I could do it now, just because I've been removed from it for a little bit, but yeah, a little bit.
Go ahead.
What's the hardest website you guys have made?
Ooh. Some of them are really complicated.
Yep.
I feel like they're all pretty complicated, but I think they're all complicated in their own ways. So some are very easy to work on,
Yep.
And very easy to understand, and some are not that way at all.
And then part of it too is we're working with some websites were made in the 90s, which was, that's a ways off now. So the code and the technology used has changed quite a bit. So we have to be able to keep up with current technologies, and also stuff from the 90s before you guys were even here. So our knowledge range has to be pretty broad.
When you have a project, you know, a typical average project, how long might it take from start to finish to work through the process and the whatever, you know, whatever it
It's
might
like
take?
around 6 months, because we're usually like doing a little bit of investigation, like what kind of site should we be making? Who is your audience? Because we want to tailor it to them. So it's research, design takes a while, and then there's revisions always, and then it comes to us and we develop it. So that's, I'd say around 6 months.
Okay. And then how about like when you have a bug in a program? What's the longest it's ever taken either of you to solve that bug or that problem within a?
That's a good question, because when I hit a bug, sometimes you just have to walk away for a little bit. So it'll take probably, I've had one sit there for a week where I'll just take a stab at it, nope, it's not working today, and then I pivot to something else. So yeah, it can take up to a week.
It's kind of funny how that happens though, is where you there's been several times where I'll have a bug in the morning or something,
Yep.
and then I'll go to lunch, and while I'm eating lunch, it will just hit me, and all I have to do is this, and then I'll come back and I'll be like, well, that worked.
Right.
Shouldn't have taken 4 hours this morning, but.
Yeah.
It happens a lot.
How about, yeah, go ahead.
Have you made anything Minecraft related?
No, I haven't at least.
You ever what?
Minecraft related.
Oh no, sorry. Maybe one day.
Jackson, you have another question? Go ahead.
What did you guys mean by like languages? Is it like in different languages that you guys are doing?
It's all in English, but there's different like programming formats. So it's just like different characters put together, and it's called a language. So it's still in English. It's just in like a different arrangement of letters and characters.
So like on a website, for example, you have HTML, which is like, if it was a house, it would be the wood, the brick, and then you have CSS, which is kind of what designs the site. So that would be like the paint, the shingles, the stuff that makes it pretty, right? And then like JavaScript and jQuery, that would be the plumbing. That's where you have like extra functionality, not just looks and structure. Like when you click on something, what does it do? That would be JavaScript. So, and that's just 3. There's way more than that. So,
And like what we do on code.org, the black, that's kind of like a language, a coding language. Go ahead.
Did you make any websites that's kind of like unicorn or dinosaur related?
What's
Like
that?
make-believe related? Like
I haven't, no.
what related?
like make-believe related.
Oh, in college I did. Because we had to do like a final project, and I made one where you had to find the missing letter to the word. It was an educational one because my sister was teaching kindergarten at the time, so I was working with her. So like, what would you want your kids to use? So it was really fun because there's like little character animations. I probably wouldn't think it is cool now if I look back because that was like 6 years ago. But yeah, I did that in college.
Go ahead.
Have you ever made any educational websites?
I mean, we work on a couple educational websites. So kind of.
Yeah, we've helped on some educational ones. I've never built one start to finish.
Do you think, if you're a person that likes to work by themselves or you're a person that works better in groups, is there one or the other that's better when it comes to working in a programming field or a coding field, or?
Probably better off if you're more adaptable and can do both, because usually like Jay and I will take a project, work on it, get it as far as we can until it's the next step, and we'll hand it off to like design or deliver it to our customer and be like, hey, what do you think? Does this look good? But sometimes when you hit a wall and you need help, you have to be able to ask for help. So that means you have to be able to work as a team. Like I'm like, Jay, I really need help with this. Please help me debug. So you kind of have to do a little bit of both.
Yeah, I agree. There's moments where I want nothing more than just to be by myself and just try to hammer out as much as I can.
Yep.
And then there's other moments where I'm completely stuck, and I'm really glad that we have a group of people where I can throw an idea out and they'll come back to me with a bunch of other ideas.
What's the most common type of website you made?
Do you mean in like languages or just like?
Like, what kind of websites have you made, like, are most common that you do, like, out of, like, what kind, if it's,
Like, do you mean like the most people use it?
what kind do you do most?
Or?
Like, what kind, yeah, what kind do you do
Well, most of the websites we work on are e-commerce websites. So it's like people trying to sell things through the internet rather than in a physical storefront. So we're trying to help them make more money by making our revisions and giving them to them.
What is your most popular website?
That's a tough, I don't know which one gets the most traffic off the top of my American Muscle.
I think it's American Muscle. We
Yeah.
have one that sells car parts for Mustangs and Ford F-150s, and they get a lot of traffic because there's a lot of people out there who want to work on their car themselves, so they probably get the most traffic.
It's like trying to put a number on it, they get well over 1 million people a month, isn't it?
Yep.
I have one more question. Do you know everything there is to know about coding right now?
Oh,
Never.
no.
And then
Never.
how do you keep learning more about coding now? Like where you get help from people that you work with, but where else do you find
I think
or
the
learn?
best part about being in the industry that we are is there's a bunch of other people in it right now too, and it's an exciting field to work in. And there's still like Code Academy is a good one. Like I was even telling Sadie like last week that I need to go back in and take like a refresher just to expand my knowledge on the subject. Because it's good to go back in because like it seems like every couple years like everything changes, so you just have to constantly adapt and move forward with the new technology.
Yep. There's a whole bunch of resources, like the ones that you guys are going on today. That's a good start. And then, yeah, just Googling, like, I want to learn more about this. There's a million resources out there. So just constantly researching and experimenting.
All right, 2 more questions. You guys are coming up with good questions. Go ahead, Jackson.
Does your company only do like selling, where you sell online with people, or is it, or do you do other besides wines where you sell stuff to people?
We do they're called lead generation, because what they're trying to do is get people's contact information so then they can have like a customer service person call and like maybe explain to them what they're selling. So we do lead generation too. So it's just collecting emails and phone numbers. That's their goal versus selling something, which is what e-commerce's goal is.
Where else do you have buildings, like, it's building across the street, is that the only one, and like, do you have like?
No, we
maybe-
actually have another one in Philadelphia as well.
You have a question?
Why did you start and join the coding?
That's yeah, I mean, my senior year of high school, I loved computers. Like, I loved all the things you could do with computers. I was like, this is sweet. Like, I want to work with computers. That sounds fun. So then I was like, well, I'll just pick like computer science and kind of figure it out somewhere along the line in the next 4 years. And then a friend of mine down in Chicago was going to another school during the summer specifically for Ruby development, which is another language. And he was like, hey man, if you want to go, like, it's 10 weeks long during the summer, like, and I was like, yeah, that sounds pretty cool. So I did that, and I was like, I love this, like, I don't want to do anything else. Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I would say the same. I got like a little taste of it in school, and I was like, this is pretty neat. I think this is me, and then I just kept going.
And I'm going to ask, do you find that there are many women or girls
No.
in coding?
We are definitely a minority, but there's been studies where, we're just as good. We know what we're doing. So yeah, I would encourage you to not let that intimidate you, and just do what you want to do.
Yeah. Cool. You know what we'll do? We will